What's going on, all my new, current, and future rideshare drivers and passengers out there? Welcome back to the channel. Before I get started, if this is your first time here and you enjoy the content, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that little bell icon so you know when I come out with new videos. If you want to become a rideshare driver and have a bonus guarantee automatically already applied, sign up with the link in the description below. If somehow you're an Uber driver and you forgot to do that when you first started because, hey, you didn't know anybody, you may still be in luck, so follow the instructions in the description below and you may get one applied today. Now, today's video, guys, I'm talking about AB5 passed. Yep, yes it did. Now, all the Uber and Lyft drivers in California will be classified as employees. Congratulations, all those people that wanted it. I know a lot of drivers out there that are part-time that did not want this at all. But I guess the majority rules now, right? I'm going to put the link to this article in the description below so everyone else can read it for themselves. I'll read a little bit here, because I don't feel like reading it all. Of course, a lot of it's just a recap of what's been going on. But it flat out says, gig workers win in California. Woo! Yeah, I'm sure a lot of drivers aren't happy about that, though. After the better part of the year, California's Senate today passed AB5 legislation that is expected to unravel the contractor business model of companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, and a bunch of others out there. In a historic victory, workers for those companies and others like them are now likely to be considered employees entitled to benefits and protections that status conveys. So, instead of people paying for their own benefits and everything else, I guess now they wanted it like this. Now, I wonder, honestly, how this is going to change everything. Part-time drivers, are you going to have to get blocks? We're going to have to wait and see. I don't know if they're going to follow anything like how New York City did. But if they're paying drivers more, and if that's what drivers really wanted in Cali, hey, more power to them. Sad to say, secretly, I wanted it to pass in California, only because I'm not there, and I wanted to see what maybe Uber and Lyft might try to do for improvements for all us other states out there, considering I know they didn't want to do this. They spent millions of dollars wasted lobbying against this, when, hey, they could have just gave that money to drivers, and maybe drivers would have hushed, and sign that little petition to become, or to stay independent contractors. Now, we'll never know, right? It says, gig worker platforms have faced mounting criticism that their businesses rely on the misclassification of their workforces as independent contractors, while depriving workers of any meaningful sense of self-determination, a key element of a contractor being truly independent. The absence of minimum workplace protections have left rideshare drivers paying out of pocket for work-related expenses like fuel and vehicle upkeep, while platforms determine how and when they shuttle passengers and can essentially fire them at any time for any reason. This lopsided arrangement has led to coordinated worldwide protests from this precarious workforce who, at least in California, are finally seeing some relief. So like I said, guys, this is only going down in California right now. So the AB5 sailed through the House with a 53-11 vote. The Senate's Labor, Public Employment, and Retirement Committee in a 3-1 vote. So, yeah, this is going down, guys. Now, it does still have to be signed. It's AB5 effectively codifies into a law and state Supreme Court decision from mid-2018, which upheld that drivers working for a specific logistics company, Dynamex, were doing the work of employees rather than contractors as they had been classified. So they did some 3-part test, and I guess it failed. And now, where's it say? I'm trying to find the part at the end. To extension. There's a lot of stuff in here, guys. So if you want to read it, like I said, I put it in the description below so you guys can all read it yourself. But here's what I thought was interesting. Now that it passes and everyone's saying they're going to be employees, at the same time, it says, today, our state's political leadership missed an important opportunity to support the overwhelming majority of rideshare drivers who want a thoughtful solution that balances flexibility with an earning standard and benefits. Lyft wrote in a statement, like, Lyft has some nerve saying anything right now. The fact that there were more than 50 industries carved out of AB5 is very telling. We are fully prepared to take this issue to the voters of California to preserve the freedom and access drivers and riders' wants and needs. The version of AB5 passed by California's Senate will return to the Assembly, where it is expected to pass before receiving Newsom's signature. So without Senator Newsom's signature, it ain't going to happen. So technically, something can still go down to stop this. We will see. It says, once passed into law, the legislation will take effect January 1st, 2020. So next year, you will all be employees of Uber and Lyft, Grubhub, DoorDash, all the gigs that are out there in California. So I hope all those that wanted this are happy with their outcome. Because like I said, I've already been getting messages that people that are just part-time like me are not happy at all, because now they're gonna lose their flexibility. They're gonna have to do what the apps say. You think your pay's I guess they're supposed to have to pay you probably, a certain amount. They didn't say in this, so I don't know exactly what drivers are going to be starting getting paid. And before all this actually got passed, I guess they were offering drivers at least a $21 minimum if this didn't go into effect. So you best believe, guys, you're going to be under a lot more scrutiny from Uber, Lyft, all the gigs out there. And guess what? Your employees, now they can definitely fire you for no reason at all. And there ain't going to be jack you can do about it, because they're going to probably make it so, like, if you don't work the certain times, you lose your spot. You know what I'm saying? You miss too many, you get fired. Just like if you miss too many days from a normal job, they can fire you. So again, I hope everybody out there that wanted this to pass is happy in California. Because like I said, even though I'm not in California, I just wanted to see if this goes down in one of the biggest markets out there in the U.S., maybe, just maybe, Uber and Lyft will wise up. And the rest of us out there, they're going to start maybe raising the rates or something. Treating the drivers better. Giving the drivers actually more of what they want before legislation and government takes over and forces them. Because now, technically, they can just pull out of Cali. I know it would hurt them, but technically it's going to cost them a whole lot more money to stay in California now than to leave. And I don't know if anybody knew, but I think Uber's headquarters, they were moving it out of California, and I think I don't remember exactly if it was Texas or something else, but that's where they were already like pre-planning to pull out. And now with all this, there's nothing to say Uber and Lyft and Grubhub, all the gigs have to even stay in California. So all those wanting to get paid more, you might end up screwing yourselves even more if they pull out. Because then if you ain't got no work, you ain't getting no money. That's bottom line right there. And now, for the rest of us not in California, we're just going to have to sit back, wait and see how things unfold, because odds are, if that big of a state goes ahead and passes this, a lot of people fear that a lot of other states will follow suit. But it's all going to depend on how the drivers come together and everything. And now, also in Cali, I guess, they're going to have unions and stuff. So now you're trading one dictatorship for several dictatorships, and you're still going to have to do either what these unions tell you to do, or Uber and Lyft tell you to do, or you're going to have to find a new job. And this is exactly why I tell drivers, and I tell everybody out there, please have backups to your backups. These gigs, to me, were only meant to be part-time for extra money. You know, when you're in a pinch or in a bind, you just need to go out and make a couple $100 real quick. To me, that's what these gigs were for. Now, the whole game's changing, guys. The whole game's changing. And we're going to see exactly how it goes. So far, from my understanding, it worked out pretty well in New York City. I haven't heard any complaints coming out of there. I think they capped drivers there, so they can't have any more, so it's not, like, over-congested. Drivers are getting a minimum wage. Uber and Lyft actually started charging passengers more money to make up for this, and guess what? Nothing happened. Passengers and riders are still taking trips, because it doesn't matter how much Uber and Lyft raise the prices, people are still going to take Uber and Lyft because they become dependent on it. All right? But that just goes to show that these companies can pay us more. They really can. But The question is, will they do it without the government forcing them to? Or will they wise up and do it on their own? Well, I'd like to know what you all think about this in the comments below. As always, check the description below for extra information and tips. You keep doing your thing. You stay safe out there. Use common sense. Try to get your money while you can. And until next time, guys, Uber on or don't. Peace out.